Hello everybody and a very warm welcome back to All's Racing. It's myself, Zabi, and I'll once again be on the commentary mic to take you all through for an amazing racing experience here at the Dutch Grand Prix Zandvoort. We are, and it is the reverse track as it stands then, as the drivers are just exiting the track out on track. It's a sprint weekend, so that's an interesting new thing as well. So we will have short qualifying, then a sprint race of 12 laps, and then 36 laps of racing here around Zandvoort. So that's going to be a lot of madness to go around, as we almost have a madness with the sprint going wider into the wall, barely making out, keeping it out of the walls there and not crashing just out. There's an SQ1 which should just be short qualifying of it's not 18 minutes, it's about 12 minutes I believe, so it's going to be about 10 minutes of qualifying these drivers get, and then they get on with another one. So it's round 6 or round 5 I believe. It should be around 5 or round 6. I need to confirm a little bit. Just let me confirm for a second. I believe they're alright, so there is definitely a round, but just cannot know what round it is. So let me just check it out. I mean, I sure can know, but just a second. Results going to be from the previous rounds. Australia. So looking at this one, of course, round from Brazil, then came Kota was round 1, Brazil was round 2, then came Monaco round 3, round 4 was Australia. So this is round 5 then here at the Dutch Grand Prix, and we are halfway at on the season. We are ready to go racing, of course, qualifying out here. Apologies if my energy's a bit down. Of course, haven't just slept better throughout the day today. So alright, I've been just trying to get a look at things. Sprint was the first one out on track to begin a flying lap. Out on track, it was the first one I believe, so surely the first one to be closer to the finish line. There's an Alpine, or in fact Sprint has retired out of the session and put it in the wall. Liam is retired as well. Not sure what happened, because surely there has to be something wrong, because we can see Riley go make his way through that. Oh, that is interesting. And surely that exit on that corner, the outside wall's pretty close, and surely that exactly has what has happened to go over the line and really give them a problem for them. Riley is on a flying lap. There is a car ahead of him, which I believe is an RB's on a flying lap. He's on an out lap. Well, just the beginning is flying laps. The first driver over the line is going to be Riley over that finish line, 1:11.3. Is he going to be quick enough though? Not quite sure. What about others right behind? MPA is just beginning a flying lap then. What about Leo in the other Williams? His teammate has put the car in the wall. 2 drivers already out here in qualifying. Sprint qualifying, of course, so Collie will be there setting up the grid for the sprint, and then Sprint will set up the grid for the main race. And 109.9 that is. Fastest than Riley so far. What about anybody else coming over the line? Panda then on a flying lap. He's on a set of medium tyres. That is interesting. So it says soft tyres, and he's going out on medium tyres. I don't know if he did an out lap on a set of softs and then went into the pits back again to get a set of mediums on. So maybe just trying to run on. Oh no, in fact, I'm not sure how they would in fact. Okay, so they do have the 111.0 from. They do have the soft tyre on, but usually in Sprint you can only use the medium tyre in SQ1. So that is the explanation. Meanwhile, All's Joker goes P4. There's a car behind. There is, as Ben's going to go P3. That is a mega lap from Ben at the moment, even on a set of medium tyres. As MP3 Gamer's going to go fastest, 1:09.8. And sets up the fastest down the session so far. What about Jamboys? He's going to be starting his flying lap. Anybody else right behind the back about to complete a flying lap at the moment? No, it's Leo in P2 at the moment. Coming into the pits just now. Both top 2 drivers having set up the time on the soft compound tyre. It's only Panda and Ben on a set of medium compound tyres who've done a job, and what we are looking at, we might be looking at Panda at this point, and no, he's not going faster at all. Same goes, no, in fact, doesn't go same for Joker there. For a moment, we were saying that he goes same goes for him. Going pretty slow on his previous time. No, his previous time was pretty slow, 118. Well, how good is this one going to be? 110.6. Absolute good one from him. MB behind. He's going to be about to complete a flying lap as well. 112.8 from MB1 out there. Would have said this is Mamba, but it's not. There's another Mamba is already there, and he's in a McLaren as compared to Mamba in that Aston Martin. So one Mercedes, only one Mercedes in the session actually. So we're going to be looking at this. What about the Haas of Special out there over the line? He hasn't done a lap time on board actually. Magnet might have, or in fact Magnet's just going to be beginning his flying lap then. Might have been a special one, indeed it is, but he couldn't put a special time on board so far, so it's not going to be doing a good job for him. What about HB? Is it going to be him over the line? No, in fact he was just beginning his flying lap. It was him over the line, but just getting his lap started. So as it stands on the medium tyre is also surely, I mean, a lot of drivers are going on the medium tyre, maybe trying to set a soft set a soft tyre for the end of qualifying, but also trying to just do a lap in, which is going to be pretty good to be putting in as he improves. Does Panda 110.4? So yeah, what I'm saying is, surely they want to go fast on the medium tyre, or even save a set of softs for the final. Remember, also for sprint as well, you just get limited tires, so surely you wanna use not all of them. Meanwhile, Ben over the line, still on that medium compound tire. How good is that going to be? Does he improve on his previous time? Yes, he does, by 4/10, but doesn't improve by time at all. 106 at the moment, 110.6 from him. What about Love Magnet? Is he going to be over the line? Special one does go over the line, does improve by over 5 seconds, but only good enough for P8 as it stands, and third slowest time, 111.2. What about the Aston Martin of HB of Cook? It's going to be good enough for P9 only. Are we going to be seeing a Hyper go over the line, but eventually he doesn't improve. Does Panda improve once more? I think he's going to be heading into the pit lane. Yes, he does head into the pit lane as it stands. So Ben still out on the set of mediums, but I think he's going to be coming into the pit lane just now, because I doubt he's going to do more than 3 laps on the set of each medium time. And of course, with the amount of time right now remaining is not enough for him to really do another lap, then come in and set up for the soft tyres, then go back out again. So surely all those out on the medium compound tyres right now should be going on to a set of softs very soon. What about Love Magnet though? Does he improve on his previous time? No, he doesn't. What about his teammate Special though over that line? No, he doesn't find an improvement either. So maybe not pushing, just maybe just starting their laps now. What about Leo? Is he on a flying lap at the moment? Yes, he is. Over that finish line, he goes fastest and takes that pole back again. That sprint pole position, 109.671. It goes over 2 tenths quicker than MP so far. Posting faster times, posting better times. What about Hyper, the man that we saw earlier on to start his flying lap? How good is that going to be over that finish line? No good enough, actually. 129.7. Just put the time on board, but surely not good enough. A good one. And that explains either he was not doing a good job, or of course might have just made a mistake of just trying to go over the line and get a lap to himself, because even if you are on a cool down lap, it doesn't get that slow. You can never really get beat that slow. So surely maybe a mistake early on in the innings, and then going pretty slow. Meanwhile, Alvar is just now making his way around the final corners. As usually 10, 1 or 2 Haas drivers are trying to do all they can. Love Magnet doesn't improve. Special one does improve. That is a pretty good time, and 110.988. That is a decent time. If you could find a few tens going on to sort of soft compound time for the final run, it could be pretty interesting for him, because surely he looks very strong. Definitely strongest he's ever looked in a while, I have to say. So And it's interesting, pretty cool, and moving forward with a minute and a half remaining in this qualifying session. Surely minute and a half remaining. Panda now out on a set of soft tyres as well, showing exactly as I was saying, the drivers would in fact be saving their tyres, so they indeed are saving their tyres upon those first ones. So yeah, it is round 5, I believe I confirmed it earlier on. So yeah, so the soft tyre, the medium tyre runners from earlier on already saving those soft compound tyres for the final moments, for the final runs on the track. At the moment, Love Magnet having done 4 laps on these soft compound tyres, so it's more like putting practice rather than doing qualifying laps at this point. Having 4 laps on these soft compound tyres and no more to beat time. There's going to be Cook over the line. He's going to be just starting his flying lap right behind the McLaren, right behind him. It's going to be coming into the pit lane. That's going to be it. Qualifying over for MB1 then. Out here. What about Alvar in that Red Bull? Is not going to be enough. What about Pando's just going to be beginning his lap? Alvar looks like having part out on the track, so that's going to be qualifying over for him as well. We do see a Sauber, and it is going to be of Hyper. How good is that going to be? He needs a pretty good time to improve and to go over the line somewhere in the top 10. Yes, he does go P9. Just right position behind his teammate. Meanwhile, Mamba's going to be the one right behind, beginning his flying lap. Then anybody behind would be Joker in that Alpine over that finish line. How good is that going to be? 109.8. So there goes P3. MP at the moment. Jamboy in that Ferrari on a set of medium car, no, in fact on a set of soft tyres, but P4 at the moment. Then he might have just begun his flying lap then, because as it stands, he's on a set of soft tyres, so surely he might have just started his flying lap. Ben then has invalidated his lap. He had improved by over 3 tenths. 110.1 would have been good enough for P4, but not enough at the moment, as Magnet has retired. Alvar is into the pit lane as well. Magnet has put it in the wall. What about Cook? And then we saw him go over the line, start his flying lap. How good is this one going to be? He hasn't got a competitive time on those soft medium compound tyres. Does he get one? No, just takes the checkered flag. Not good enough at all, so maybe just made a mistake as well. Not able to go over the line with the competitive time at all. Panda's taking the yellow checkered flag as well. Did improve by over 4 tenths. Or 5 tenths, I believe. Pushes Jamboy behind, but is it going to be good enough for a P4 to the end of qualifying? We don't know yet. What about Mamba? He's a driver without a time on board. How good is this one going to be? 106 or 10.5. P6 is that is. What about Jamboy? He's going to go over the line and take pole position, unless somebody else could deny it. Nobody can deny it apart from MP Gamers over that finish line. He can't do anything as well, and that is going to be Jamboy in that Ferrari. Goes over the line and goes fastest over them all. Takes pole position here at the Dutch GP. It is going to be sprint, of course. First, it's going to be 12 laps of the sprint. So whatever positions these drivers finish in that, it's going to be the case. The starting grid for the main race, which is going to be 36 laps of racing, of course. And these are your qualifying results then, ladies and gentlemen. Looking at this one here, Jamboy takes pole position ahead of Leo, ahead of MP, ahead of Joker, Panda, Mamba, Ben, Special, Riley and Hyper complete the top 10. Then come Cook, Alvar, MB, Love Magnet with all in P14. Then it is Liam, Sprint, F1 without a time on board. Both of them, I believe, crashed earlier on, and both of them were the first drivers in the session out to crash. So we are now ready. We are ready to go racing and see cars out on track to go racing. So we're going to be ready. I don't know if there's going to be a formation lap or not. And we're going for it already. There's not going to be any formation lap. And 5 lights out. And we go racing into the Dutch Grand Prix. Gemboy on pole has got a decent start. But Leo's got an even better start now on the inside line. Gemboy's going to defend for it. But he's not going to be able to defend as this going to head into turn 1. They almost crash. They're going to be making contact. Leo gets closer to Jamboy there and already takes the lead in the turn 1 down the inside line. Had a fantastic start. Looks up as Jamboy is going to go into the back of Leo out there. So this is a interesting one as it stands with the multiple drivers starting on different set of tyres for the first 12 laps of sprint. Drivers taking that. So Leo, as it stands, is taking the pole for that main race. Mamba in P3. That is an absolute rapid start on that soft compound tyre from Mamba. Then comes MP in P4. Lost out a few positions then as it stands. Panda in P5 with Ben in P6. Cook in P7, Special in P8, maintaining the top 8 position so far, doing a really good job. Riley in P9 as it stands. Alwar in P10, completing out the top 10 in this race so far. And then it's Sprint F1 in P11, a good start for him as well, starting last. Then comes MP in that McLaren and Slav Magnet in that Haas. Goes down the inside line of that McLaren through, but they're still going to be side by side. Has the Haas driver made the overtake? Yes, he has. McLaren driver might just try and come back at him on the inside line on the exit of that final corner. There's going to be another chance for that McLaren driver to take that overtake. He's using that battery. Both of them are using that battery. Being on that same compound tyre as well. Heading towards turn 1. The banking into the left hand. He's overtaken, but down the inside for a moment. Lumang's going to send it there, make a mistake, and now get overtaken by Joker. What happened to Joker there? Because I'm sure he had at least had a decent start, if not a very good start, but decent start. 9 positions down. That's a horrible start for Joker. 9 positions down on his start and 6 positions to Hyper as well. Surely there has been an incident as he's now just coming out of the pit lane. I wonder if he's got the end plate missing on that front wing. No, he's got both of them. I mean, he pitted, so the best is he would change that out there. Meanwhile, there was a yellow flag up at the front. Not sure what exactly happened, but might have been Joker because it was in the part where Joker was. 6/10 between the two. Meanwhile, going forward to the top of the field, it's going to be Leo leading that ahead of Jamboy as it stands in P2. Mamba in P3 with MP Gamers in P4, followed by Panda in P5. Then comes Ben in P6 with Cook in P7, not far behind the RB of Ben, and there could be a chance for him to go ahead and move forward. Meanwhile, Joker and Magnet are fighting for it. The Magnet goes super wide. And that's going to allow Joker to be through and makes that move. And that overtake is already done and dusted from Joker as it stands on Magnet. There's a yellow flag in the middle of the track. There's nobody on that part of the track, so not quite sure what is going on. They're going to send these guys through that middle sector. Our leader still keeps on to that lead of the race so far to themselves as it stands and doing the job as it's necessary and performing the best way they can. Meanwhile, Jamboy's right behind Leo now, and definitely that DR is getting enabled. It's going to be another opportunity for Jamboy to get through with that rear wing opening. Hyperlight is out of this one, and with that rear wing opening going to be through. Is Leo going to be able to defend his position down the inside line of Ferrari? Jamboy's going to go for it as he's going to go onto the grass. Still just about does enough and makes that move stick. Does the job. Well done so far for his team and for Ferrari and himself as well, but Leo's not going to be far behind as well. Not too long ago before Leo's going to be going for it. Meanwhile, Mambas went for it round the outside of Leo there. This is going to be interesting between the two, side by side, wheel to wheel action between the two as MP is going to be right behind these guys. Meanwhile, MB has retired as well, but I believe he's retired in the pit lane along with Hyper, both of them having retired inside the pit lane. So maybe would have not had the start. I mean, sprint is a pretty crucial one here because of course no qualifying after this one. And now again there's going to be a dance for the left on the Williams driver now down the inside line, who's going to be late on the brakes though, just going into the banking of this one. This is a pretty tricky one though. Down the inside line goes through, does the Ferrari driver. Late on the brakes was the Williams, but still through went the Ferrari. And now another chance for Mamba is going to be there as well. Cook now into the silent race for Aston Martin so far in P7, a decent position, but at the moment Mamba is going to be the very good position, a chance for him to go and to move forward. Meanwhile now the MP is going to be with a chance. Meanwhile Dembo is going down, they're tumbling down, not sure what happened there, they might have collided as we were focused on the back of some of the backup for some of the positions behind. That is Jamboy with grass on tyres. Surely has made a big mistake, and once more the Ferraris, if I'm not mistaken, previous round were doing a phenomenal job as well. The mistakes kick in, and same as happened here today. MB has left position. That is interesting. I mean, there's going to be another race, so everything else is not going to be the case as it stands, but job well done to Liam as it stands so far in P10 ahead of Alvar. Jamboy P8 has fallen back. Trumbull down the inside line. Penn goes in the back of Panda there, makes contact with that Red Bull. So now Leo's going to maybe have a little bit of an easy job for himself. Sure, Panda's going to be right behind Panda. He's not going to let him sit easy, but Panda's already done 4 laps on those soft compound tyres, and definitely the soft tire isn't going to last more than 6 laps. So I doubt they're all going to be pitting, because they sure would be trying to just, you know, get a sprint good enough, which takes them over the line, which takes them definitely, you know, over the line, and without having to worry about much, without having to worry about a lot of things. So it's interesting. Lap 6 out of 12. Cook right behind as well. He's not far away from this little pack around the outside. He could have the inside line to the next corner. He doesn't quite have that, as he's got the RB of Ben right behind him. Ben earlier on was trying to attack the Red Bull ahead, but now Ben is going to be the one attacked. Meanwhile, Joker is going to go super wide of the pack. There's going to be a spin from Riley as the Red Bull is going to be through. Either he gets ghosted, otherwise there's going to be a big crash from him there. Meanwhile, a lot of drivers losing around here. It's definitely, of course, a reverse track, reverse circuit. It's not easy at all, so these drivers are really you know, finding it a little bit harder for them to keep it out on track as it stands. Lap 6 out of 12 so far. And down the inside line through has went MP3 MP, but now Mama's going to come back at him around the outside for a move. He's gone a little bit wide. He might go down the inside line now. They're going to make contact as MP, with the help of the DRS, and absolutely went through and went for it beautifully, but not at the moment as it stands, as they're going to be trying their best. As it stands, lap 7 out of 12. So surely this is for the podium place. Look at that. Not only 3rd place, but 2nd place as well. Definitely podium in the sprint race, and definitely a front row start in these on the main race is going to be crucial, because MP showing that pace in qualifying, along with you know, with Leo. So Leo started 2nd place in P2. Jamboy is down in P7, so he's going to have a bit of a hard time. To be fair, as it stands in that Red Bull. Meanwhile, I believe I saw a car going right at the back, and it is going to be Jamboy, and he's retired straight away, and surely another mistake is going to have him retired out of this one, and he's doing it in the middle of the track. Then that is interesting. That is a pretty difficult spot he stopped in, so maybe a safety car, maybe a safety car out here, but I don't think there's going to be one in this sprint race out here. It's going to be not so easy. So many retirements then. I think Love Magnet's retired as well, so Jamboy's retired out of this one. Love Magnet as well, along with MB and Hyper as it stands. So many drivers retiring within 8 laps of racing between these two, which is interesting, to be fair. So Leo still leads ahead of MP, 1.3 seconds. Then comes Mamba in P3. 9/10 the gap between the two now, and definitely those soft tyres are not going to be giving him any grip as compared to at the start of the race. that they would have, as Ben is now going to be at the back of that Red Bull of Panda. Will be trying all his best to get through, to go through. Meanwhile, Cook is right behind these guys as well. He's going to go on the inside line. No, he will not. Will not be sending it at all. Will not be sending it on the inside line. Meanwhile, there's going to be still a fight between these two at the front. There's going to be a chance for Ben to make an overtake down the inside line of that Red Bull. Will he be doing that though? The Red Bull's going to be side by side. There's still going to be Will Tilwell racing down the inside line now to that Red Bull. But again, Ben's going to be coming back at him. Ben's going to have that chance. Is he going to be through once more round down the inside line? They're still going to be side by side. Just about that Red Bull hangs it on there and keeps it to himself. This is a pretty tricky corner on the exit, especially sometimes when you have that, when you're coming fast and that wall on the outside is pretty close to you. Down the inside line, he sent it almost, but just has to back out in time. Special one in P7. It's a very good result for him, no doubt about that. He's surely having one of the very good races since the last few Grand Prix throughout the season, at least, because I haven't seen him before this season, so no idea how good he races before this season. Of course, drivers, some of them, some of the drivers doing better on previous year's games, not able to do good on this year's games. Just getting that performance, getting that job done is what you want. So as it stands now, still Cook unable to get through, Ben unable to get through. Lap 10 out of 12. There's going to be a big performance job needed to be done from these drivers as it stands. So pretty interestingly at the moment, Ben in P5 with Cook in P6 as it stands. Special in P7. He's right behind these guys as well. I wonder if he's going to be able to get through though. Meanwhile, Liam is coming from right behind. So Liam is going to be trying all his best at the back, giving it his all, giving it all he can for the sole Ferrari in this session so far. So Leo still leads the race. Leo still leads the sprint here at Zandvoort. Lap 11 out of 12. Jamboy making multiple mistakes. Had to back out. So MP and P2. Of course, those soft tires from Mamba ruling out allowed him to pull away. Mamba is actually over 3 seconds ahead of Panda. Because Panda now round the outside. There's going to be a chance down the inside line. Is he going to be able to get through? Panda keep his position though. Meanwhile, Cook right behind this game as well on Ben. Ben's going to go super wide onto the grass. He's going to come back on the track. Keep it as clean as he can. Meanwhile, Liam is through on Special and around the outside now. Who's going to be late on the brakes? Ben has the inside line. He's just going to be able to keep it to himself so far. But for how long though? Because the Ferrari of Liam is not going to be leaving him at all. He's not going to be leaving him behind as it stands, but surely these guys are now going to be fighting for a position one after the other as it stands. Lap 12, lap 11 out of 12, round the outside. Oh, down the outside once more, defends it. Does Ben. Ben's doing absolutely exceptional down the inside line. Now they're going to be making contact, and Ben's almost going to make the spin. Both of them are costed, and now that's going to allow Special One to get through on that Ferrari as well. He's going to be able to get through. No, not yet though. But he's going to have that DRS, going to get his rear wing open. A lot of overtake chances, and Ferrari of Liam is through on Ben in the B. So is the Specials are through on Ben as well into P7. Job well done. Cook unable to get through on Panda. He's going to be trying his 100% best. Moves to the left hand side around the outside. They're going to be super close. They almost made contact. Just about keeping out of it. Out there and on a set of medium compound tires, Cook doing a pretty good job, and of course these hard tires are going to be absolutely gone and done. Still going to be having to be keeping up close. Keeping up close keeping up close with Panda then as it stands. So Aston Martin 3-4 is going to be a pretty good result. Meanwhile, Ben has managed to get his position back to himself so far as it stands then. So going to our race leader, going to our sprint race leader, back to this one. Leo took that lead into turn 1, fought it like a lion, and over that finish line, it's going to be Leo who wins the Dutch Grand Prix sprint. It's going to be MP in P2, Mamba finishes off in P3 with his teammates right behind in P4, followed by Panda in P5. Then comes Liam in P6, with Ben in P7. Special does an absolute amazing job. Special P8 for himself. Then comes Joker in P9. I believe he made multiple mistakes as well. Alvar completes the top 10 with Rayleigh and F1 Sprint in P11 and 12. So that's it then. Sprint race is done and dusted, and we should be waiting to go racing at the Dutch GP and for the main race, which we are now just waiting to go racing, and we will be going there very soon. So look at this one. 8 points for Leo in this sprint. He gets that. So of course no points for top 10 in the sprint. MP in P2 with Mamba in P3. Then comes Cook in P4, followed by Panda in P5, Liam in P6 with Ben in P7, and Special One gets that final point on the grid and gets 1 point for himself in P8 out there, as the rest of the results are there. Couple of DNFs, but I think drivers will be looking forward to the main race, which is going to be their sole focus. 36 laps of racing, and of course top 10 get the points, so that's going to be a decent focus out there as well. Clouds out there, that could be interesting. It might not be raining now, but a potential rain later on in the race could be on the way, without a doubt about, no doubt about that. Alright, there is qualifying. I did not knew that was going to be the case, because I completely thought there was going to be just the race from out here. Because surely I was not told about that. In my mind, I'm thinking the results are going to be from the race. That is interesting then, because I was surely not ready for that, and absolutely I was not ready to really be putting the effort into this qualifying, rather than okay then, cars are out on track as it stands, which is cool. And it's completely dry. There is sun out there. From the pit lane it was looking like there was going to be no sun, but as it stands there is. Those guys, we already have cars out on track and drivers setting up the lap time as it stands. 2 drivers with the time on board. Riley 1:11.2 as it stands, 1:13.795. The drivers out on track. MB with a time without time on board, of course. Anybody else on a flying lap at the moment? Hyper is not on a flying lap at all. Meanwhile, Ben has invalidated his lap. Leo will surely be looking to get a lap time on board. And what about the Red Bull? There's a Red Bull going over the line, but no time yet, as Panda's now going to be starting his flying lap. So will be Sprint, or no, in fact, Sprint's going to be going over the line. How good is that going to be? On the previous qualifying session, he could not put a time on board, and has now got the fastest time in the session so far, 1:10.7. Looking at this one, so interestingly, MP Gamers at the moment 1:09.8 as it stands, 8:95 so far, the fastest time so far. What about Leo as he breaks it completely already without even any weight? 1:09.6 that is here at the moment as it stands. So a couple of minutes already passed by the time drivers come out of the pit lane, but then Panda's going to be the next one to go across over the line. How good is that going to be? 1:10.025 P3 from Panda as it stands. So P4 from Joker as it stands then, P1:10.334. Riley, how good is that going to be? Doesn't improve at all. 1:11.217 is his quickest time of the session so far as it stands, and absolutely so far MP2 then as it stands. So looking at after runs, Ben finally gets the time on board, 1:11.7. Previously he invalidated his lap. MB then a flying lap he'll be looking for, a fast time he'll be looking for. No, he hasn't got a time on board and already has in the pit lane, and Shorty might have just made a mistake on his lap, which could have just made him pit on this one and not go for it at all. What about Cook though over that finish line? 1:10.966 P6 that is going to be. That is, and let's see how this one's going to be. What about Magnet? Is this going to be beginning his flying lap? Remember, Magnet and a couple of others retired, so I've been surely now they wouldn't have any problem retiring, because now I know that, of course, why they did not have any problem retiring, because simply they would have another whole qualifying session, which could see them improve and start in a better position in the race. Sprint was a separate one, and so was the race. Now, as we're just seeing others go over the line as well, trying to complete their laps, trying to go over the line in this one. So, oh, there's going to be a spin, and that's going to be straight into the wall. Goes Hyper, and he puts his car straight into the wall. Two-lap old medium tires, soft tires, surely 1:15.9, definitely not one of the fastest times, but he improved by a lot on his previous laps, so surely you'd be wanting and wondering, thinking that he's going to improve once more and doing a bit of a better job than his previous lap on this one, and just find an improvement on his own, but doesn't quite do that. It doesn't quite stay that way at all. Is it going to be Jam? No, it is going to be Liam. He had a decent race in that sprint. How good is this one going to be? Over the line goes Pete the Ray, 1:09.9. What about the Haas cars right behind? That is going to be Mechanic, I believe, over the line. No, in fact, it was his teammate, Special One, who scored points on that sprint race finish. What about somebody else? What about Joker? Whose car that was? I'm just trying to look at it. I wonder, it might just be Ben then over the line. It indeed was Ben over the line. He pushed a couple of drivers down, so I was wondering who has moved up the order. P5 for Ben as it stands, 110.221. Liam in P3. Decent improvement from Magnet there over 7/10s, but of course that is not going to be good enough at all. 112.4. What about Jamboy? He's just going to be beginning his flying lap then. He's not on a flying lap. That means we're not going to be seeing him. What about Special One though? Special put a very good race, I mean, you have to say. In recent weeks we had seen his driving, so P8 was a pretty good one for him. How good is this one going to be over that finish line? 110.9 exactly. P8, he puts it there and puts it into the top 8, and at least 4th slowest time that is. And he's got a couple of drivers right behind him, then 1, 2, 3. Of course, MB, Mamba, Jamboy and Alvar all without a time on board so far in this one. Who's that going to be? That's to be a Williams, and that might just be Leo. It indeed is going to be Leo, currently on that second front row, and it does improve by only about 600ths of a second, but I don't 600ths of a second, so it doesn't improve by position, just improves by a bit of a time, which is not going to be sending him over the line at all. Meanwhile, his teammate's going to come into the pit lane. Special, not Magnet, is going to be heading over the pit lane, as well as Alvar has retired, stayed in. What about Jamboy over that line? He wants to make up on those mistakes in that sprint qualifying, and over that finish line, he's going to go over the line and take pole position once more. 109.382. What a lap that is. So surely he's got the qualifying speed. He's got that 1 lap speed. All he needs. All he needs is that race, mistake-free race. Not even mistake-free race. I mean, even after that first mistake, he was going in that sprint, but that second one after that, he kind of knew that there was not a lot, or there was not anything he could do to really, recover into the points scoring positions. Then in the end, ended up retiring and really let the others do it. What about MP? 112.0 from him. He's not improving on this one, and understandably so. Comes into the pit lane. So the 2 Ferrari teammates, pretty well done by both of them, on P1 and P4 as it stands. So 6.5 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. Who do you think is going to be taking pole position? Jamboy has done the job so far, about 210, a little less than 210 ahead of MP Gamers as it stands. Leo in P3 with Liam in P4 and Panda in P5, just beginning his flying lap. One of the Haas drivers going over the line, does improve by another 2/10. Still stays P8, needs a minimum of 3.5 tenths to improve and move further into P7, but does find a little bit of an improvement and get away from sprint. Then he might have been down though, but I'm not sure, but surely he's done a decent job, and I think he might have just been down in P9 actually with that lap. I'm not sure but I believe his previous time was 110.9 something, while sprint's time was 110.7. So it's interesting. Interesting to get this one, and now we're going to be looking at another Aston Martin. Cook is going to be going over the line, just beginning his flying lap. Meanwhile, Panda right behind in that Red Bull is going to be completing a flying lap. Does improve by time, and almost 2/10s he improves by, and that is absolutely brilliant job done from him so far. At least pushes himself away from other drivers right behind, especially Liam, who does in fact find an improvement, but not enough for P4. So just about both of these drivers are going to be very close to one another now. 14 hundredths of a second, 4.5 minutes now remain in this one. There's going to be Mamba over that line. How good is that one is? That is P7 from Mamba in the Aston Martin. Goes P7. Job well done from him so far. So that is interesting from Mamba out there, and 4 minutes now remain in the session. Liam on a flying lap as it stands. He did improve, so he's not on a flying lap at the moment. Then Cook, I believe, came into the pits, or no, in fact he has not came into the pits. Meanwhile, there's a Red Bull. It is going to be off Panda. He's going to go over the line once more, but that's of course a cool down lap. McLaren of MB going over the line as well. The Haas of Magnet is just going to be beginning his flying lap. So the only driver out on the track at the moment is indeed Liam in that Ferrari, but just out into the pit lane. So there are the drivers out on track, but of course the one who is on a flying lap. Riley then P9 at the moment, 9 fastest, 110.5 from Riley. That is over the line, doesn't improve, so on a cool down lap. What about MP though? This is going to be starting his flying lap, and that's going to be cool to see how good of a lap was that from Jamboy. Is MP going to be able to get closer? Is he going to be able to do any magic or do any performance? Show any performance that could see him take pole position and do the job that nobody yet could have done. Meanwhile, Panda is improving. Panda is improving by a little bit, but he needs to improve by a lot. A minimum of a 10th, or in fact, he doesn't. Yeah, he does. He needs to improve by at least 2/10, almost 2/10 to get himself into P3. Can he quite do it though over that finish line? No, he can't. Doesn't improve the final sector. In that middle sector, the time seemed to be pretty unmatchable for him, but then that final one, and he's not got the speed that he was looking for. Magnet over the line, still doesn't find an improvement at all. What about Joker then in the Alpine, beginning his flying lap? So is Riley. No, Riley's not beginning his lap. Riley's coming over the line, but he's not improving as it stands over that finish line. It doesn't improve, 5/10 down on his previous time. Special one's going to be just coming over the line and going about it. What about this man on screen? MP3 doesn't improve, falls over 4 seconds down, will not be getting anything to his name as it stands. What about this one then? Others are coming around the wickets. What about Magneers? There's going to be a spin from Hyper already, with only a minute now remaining in this qualifying session. Whoever goes over the line now will not be getting another lap. Joker surely has saved up all of it at this point for exact this moment that he needs, that he wants to go for it. What about MP3 then? Does he improve? No, he doesn't, and surely he's just warming his tyres up, and now his tyres are going to be ready on the third flying lap. He's going to be doing that. He's got the battery that he needs to use. He's got the performance that he's been looking to be using. So now everyone over that line is going to be interesting to see, because whoever comes over the line might not be seeing themselves improve. Meanwhile, Ben is going to be in that RB. So a lot of drivers maybe on those cool down laps, or just getting their tyres warmed up as best as they can to give themselves the best chance. Meanwhile, both the Ferrari drivers with 18 seconds to go just will be looking to go over the line and take that checkered flag, or rather just begun with their flying lap. And look at that, Liam is going to be getting that tow from Jamboy. I wonder if he's going to be getting that or not, but how about that? Is going to be pushed wide. Leo's going to go wide. Both of these drivers have then taken the checkered flag, and absolutely Leo hasn't taken the checkered flag, but others have. What about others in that? Joker goes P6 over that line. just ahead of Mamba out there with one of the drivers right behind. How good is that going to be? Not good enough. What about Riley over that line? Doesn't improve over that finish line. What about the Mercedes of MP3 there? Doesn't improve as well. Stays where he is in terms of position. MP2. Anybody right behind? Anybody else good enough for another position, as Cook is currently at the moment in P12, isn't improving as it stands, and surely a disappointing qualifying for the Aston Martin driver. What about the RB of Ben over that finish line? Goes P7. One more driver who we've got to come over the line. Does improve by over 6 tenths. Does he improve by position? Yes, he does. Goes P9 and ahead of his teammate. Does an absolute well done job. What about Jamboy? Does he improve on his previous time over that finish line? What about Liam? How good is that going to be? Liam takes pole position and goes fastest of them all and snatches up that one from his teammate. 109.334. And that is an absolute best from the Ferrari duo. That is going to be a Ferrari 1-2. Ferrari 1-2 between these two. And now we are more than ready to go racing at the Dutch GP. Been about an hour already, so that's the problem with this one, you know. It's not a problem. I mean, of course, if everything's planned better, everything's done out there, it's gonna be good, but it's fine. I mean, P1, these are your results in qualifying. Then let's have a look at these one by one for all of you to have a look at the 16 drivers, how good they're. Alvar being the slowest of them all, Magnet second slowest, and MB third slowest was Cook in 13th, Brennan 12th, 11th for Special, 10th for Riley, with Hyper, Mamba, Alls for Joker, Ben, Panda in that P5, and the other top three are all going to be ready, and now we are absolutely ready to go racing. And now we are just waiting for these guys to come out on track here as it stands. So we are just waiting for everyone to come out on track as it stands. Of course, everybody's going to be out on track. Teams are going to be ready. Drivers are going to be ready as they just get ready up. They set up their strategy, set up their cars for all of us, for all of these drivers to go racing. And that's for all of us, for all of you watching, to enjoy the racing action. And we are already getting started, though there's no formation lap. Not sure if it's been removed or it's never used around here, because I certainly do a lot of leagues. There's going to be 5 laps out and we go racing here at the Dutch Grand Prix. It's going to be good stuff for Jamboy then. Surely that inside line seems to be a very good position for drivers to get a better start, because Jamboy on pole position earlier on couldn't quite do it, and Liam's going to go wide. Liam's going to go absolutely super wide, and he's already into some of the walls. Meanwhile, MP has put that car in the wall as well. That is an absolute disastrous start from these drivers as it stands. That is an absolute disastrous start then for all of these drivers as it stands, as MP is out, and again another driver starting on pole position with Liam Morse has had a disastrous start, currently in P15 now. Down in P15 with MP in that Mercedes is out of the session already, and that first safety car of the session is here. Every single one of them out on a set of medium compound tire, apart from one single driver who's on a set of softs, and that is Mamba in that Aston Martin. Already drivers with a couple of penalties. 20 seconds to Ben, along with 10 seconds each to Riley and Special One. That is interesting then, because so much of penalties, so much happened in that turn one, because we could, by the time we could focus on one thing, many others had happened. So many of them now are ahead, going to be heading into the pit lane and really going to the pits for a new set of tyres, for a new set of for a new front wing, of course, if they had any damages, of course, which they definitely must have got with how turn one quite literally went. So interestingly, so looking at these guys, one stop, I think medium hard could be a one stopper here, but I doubt that more drivers are going to be trying one stop. Of course, with sunny conditions, the sun out on track, the degradation is not going to be any left to really allow them to go on to a one-stop strategy. So possible two-stop strategy could be on the way, but of course we could be wrong. I mean, you never know. Two drivers away from the pack yet that are at the back is Ben and Alwa. The safety car still staying out, still going around the track with these drivers, so we'll just be picking all of this up as soon as we have the safety car in. As soon as we have the safety car restart, we'll begin with the action. Lap 3 out of 36, reverse track and the JP, of course, but it's going to be an interesting one. I think now possibly safety car should be getting into the pits. Oh, almost go to the, in fact does go into the back of the Ferrari, does Leo in that Williams, and definitely that fight between Leo and Jamboy on that restart is definitely going to be the one who's going to be on, and already on between these two. And already he's went for it, and Leo's now going to be in big pressure. He's going to be in big pressure from drivers behind. Meanwhile, Joker has lost out that position on from Pandas. Pandas takes on into P3. Meanwhile, Jamboy's got a very good restart, but not others though, because Leo's got a decent start as well, but he's got a Red Bull Panda right behind him, along with Joker as well, with Mamba in P5, followed by Special. What a start, restart for him then in P6 as it stands, ahead of Sprint F1 in P7, with Hyper in P8. Followed by MB in P9, who might be right behind, going for a move. Meanwhile, Hyper might be going for a move on Sprint F1. He will not be. Liam's going to be trying to get a better restart as better as he can. Surely trying to make up on that mistake, trying to make up all he can on that specific mistake. Meanwhile, Special's going tumbling down the grid now, falling back a little bit. There's already a yellow flag at the back. And Jamboy now gets a penalty. Jamboy gets a 10-second time penalty for the collision. That is interesting. So that is going to be a 10-second time penalty, which will need to be serving us down the inside line now. Leo's lost out. They're not sure what happened there. Oh, Leo's in the back. Leo is absolutely at the back of the grid. He's got no left-hand front wing side at all, and going to be coming into the pit lane as it stands. And look at this one then. So lap 5 out of 36. As it stands, and already drivers colliding with each other. Surely we had some incidents in that sprint, but even in this one it's even harder because this is not a street circuit, this is a proper racing circuit. Sure, it's a classic, it's an old circuit, you know, maybe not as wide as compared to the current Formula 1 circuits, but still one of the very nice ones. So, you know, pretty nice one still. So drivers, reverse is definitely a bit different. I think that is surely one of the reasons that drivers are finding it very hard to keep it within each other and really, you know, not stay away from any fighting. Meanwhile, Ben has lost out a couple of positions because of that pit stop down the inside line. Defends very well, does Riley there to keep it ahead of Ben, which is job well done. As it stands, then meanwhile we're looking at this one as MB and Cook are fighting each other offside, but wheel-to-wheel racing between the two. One of the closest battle out on track here as Cook just gets ahead and keeps that position to himself. Out ahead of MB. Meanwhile now MB in big pressure from the Ferrari of Liam out there. Liam's going to be trying to go around the outside or in the inside line wherever he gets a chance to get ahead and get through on that McLaren of MB. Down the inside line, sends it, just stays out and keeps it ahead of that McLaren. But the McLaren driver is going to come back at him as now he's going to have that inside line. No, Fraser's going to be staying behind and keeping that position so far. Lap 7 out of 36 as we stand. Between these two, meanwhile, there's going to be side-by-side action between these drivers at the back. It's going to be Ben trying to get ahead of the Sauber, just not enough for him to get through, and just not yet. He's not able to get through. Almost goes into the back of the Sauber there, which is interesting to see. Surely these guys are fighting. I mean, yeah, it's a long race, 36 laps of racing, but still these drivers are not fighting back at all. Still these drivers are not backing out. They're still going for it as it's the final few laps of the Grand Prix. You know, they're not being patient, they're not being careful. Sure, they're being careful, of course, not trying to collide, but in terms of trying to save all he can for his, all they can for their team and for their position points they currently can get. They want to go for better. They want to get more and more points than they currently have. Meanwhile, Leo in P15 at the moment, and Jambo in the previous in the sprint was in P5 in the last place, last of the running cars at some point, and retired out of it. Now Leo at the moment is 15th, last of the running cars, with MP out of it. I mean, MP got a pretty good start, surely a pretty good qualifying session as well, but then just of course a very bad start was an absolute not good start for him at all. A lot of action, a lot of collisions at the start of the race, and surely he ended up being the victim. I'm not sure whether he's retired or whether he ended up being in the wall trying to fight with one of these guys. Possibly he went into the wall as it stands, that's what I think. So stands and lap 8 out of 36. So we are probably 1/4 of this one. Of course, lap 8, then it's going to be lap 16, lap 20, or in fact no, lap 24. Then 8 are going to be lap 32 plus 4. That is about a lot of laps, of course, still remaining. We're not even have one half of the race into it just yet. So Jamboy still leads ahead of Panda, who's in P2, doing his job so far. Then Joker in P3 within 1 second of Panda as it stands. So definitely a possible chance for Joker to be going through and getting ahead of Panda there, and job well done from Mamba there in P4 at the moment. 8 laps on the set of soft compound tires, and if he can do over 8 laps on these softs and still keep it ahead of the cars behind, so maybe a one-stop strategy actually could be on the way, because Cook at the moment in P5. Aston Martin P4 and 5 as it stands. Sprint F1 in P6. With Special One in P7. Comes down is Liam in P8 as it stands. With Hyper in P9, followed by Riley in P10, doing a decent job for Sauber as well, doing it P9 and 10 for the Sauber team, with MB in P11, just outside the points from Magnet in P12, with Alvar in P13. As he's right behind Magnet now. A possible move coming up for Magnet could be on the, for Alvar, could be on the way in that Red Bull. Ben is right behind that Red Bull, and that is interesting. Ben's going to be in that behind as well. Does the Haas get a rear wing open? Yes, he does get his rear wing open. He's going to go on the inside line of that McLaren. He's going to send it on the inside of that McLaren, and now he's going to go super wide. MB's going to go super wide and into the walls, and that might be a safety car. Yes, it is a safety car. Well, that is interesting, but another safety car already on lap 10 out of 36, I think. An early safety car. MB trying to send it on the inside line, then went onto the grass, being a little bit impatient, and surely almost lost out that one then, because absolutely a lot of, not a lot of problems, but a lot of you know, issues in terms of safety car, and now those trying to go for a two-stop strategy could be thinking for a set of hard tires, but a better, I mean, that's absolutely amazing opportunity for Mamba, especially having the 9 laps on these soft compound tires. And no, he's got a penalty. He's got a 10-second time penalty. That's not going to be making it good for him at all. What tire does he go on? Goes on to a set of hard compound tire. I mean, 10 laps on the soft compound tire. Surely you'd think that this hard tire can do over 20 laps around here. We'll find out as soon as we're into the race, but still going to be a good opportunity. Many drivers pit apart from Alvar, who stayed out. Riley has stayed out as well. Panda's pitted. Oh, Joker, Mamba, Alvar hasn't pitted, but Jamboy, Cook, Sprint, Liam, Ben, everyone are along with Hyper is out on a soft tire. That is interesting. Hyper and Special are out on a set of soft compound tires, with MB out on a set of mediums, followed by Mike and Leo on sets of hard. Surely Leo is going to be getting another chance now to catch up with this action, catch up with the car, catch up with the pack, and definitely in a big opportunity, an absolute opportunity which could bring him, take him to a very good position in this one. Alright, so now comes Riley into the pit lane. He speeds as well. Surely these drivers are not getting the speed limit then, because definitely that's not going to be a lot of that. Surely, you know, going to be a lot of it, or both of them are. That's interesting. I mean, Hyper's put on a set of soft tires. Maybe he's done it mistakenly, or they might have just seen, you know, everybody else going on a set of hard tires, and a possibility of going to the end of this race. Unless he's here to pay penalty, surely he might just be here to pay that 10-second time penalty. Otherwise, there was absolutely, you know, no way for really him to, you know, to go onto a set of soft, to go onto a set of hard tires, or pitting once again, you know, wouldn't have been the case at all. Now it's been a bit of a hassle trying to catch up with the action, but might not be true. Of course, he's gonna have to take a bit of time to catch up with the action. His teammate, meanwhile, has caught up with the action, and we might just have a safety car in this lap, and a lap 13 safety car restart could be on the way, and we'll just catch it up as soon as they're on for a restart. Safety car still stays out then, so one more lap behind the safety car, and now every single one of them has pitted in this race. Alvar has not pitted, but I wonder if he surely has pitted. Definitely in this one. Some of these drivers multiple stops. Alvar hasn't pitted and behind the safety car right now, but he definitely has got multiple stops and will have to be really, you know, difficult things, and at least a difficult time in terms of, as compared to others, because 11 lap older Haas, he's surely going to need to pit, maybe not right now, but very, very soon, so it's going to have a lot of problems in terms of at least trying to keep up with these drivers. Of course, nobody in fact will have enough temperature in the tires, so maybe the older tires might even be better at this point, but we'll surely find out as soon as every one of them, as soon as the safety car is in the pit lane, and we are ready to go racing here. And we are now ready to go racing here at the Dutch Grand Prix for the restart. The safety car restart. Second safety car is into the pit lane. Looking at this one, Pond hasn't quite went for it just now, as he goes for it just now in the end, and just in time for himself to get a very good start. Meanwhile, Mamba's going to find it a little bit difficult to go down the inside line of Joker there, who's going to be coming in at the top of it. Meanwhile, drivers right behind are going to be there as well. Jamboy in P5 then, definitely being behind the safety car. He has lost out a little bit of positions from being in the lead of the race. Might have found it a little bit difficult. There's yellow flags at the back. There is going to be contact between these drivers. The front of the field as well. There's going to be Sprint F1 going down the inside line of cars out there, which is going to be a bit difficult. Ooh, that was close then from Special One to find it where he had to do it. Very easy as it stands. Ooh, that was close from Arkane. Gets a little tap on the back. Does Special F1 give it to Sprint F1 out there? It's nice. Interesting to say the least. Lap 14 out of 16 as it stands. Of course, we are now nearly halfway distance. Of course, it's not a halfway distance. We'll be halfway through this race on lap 18 out of 36, but we're still away from halfway of this one done. But that was close between these drivers, and surely that is going to be a job well done between these drivers. And lap 15 out of 36, so a lot of these ones over 21 laps still remaining in this one. More than they've currently done remains in this one, but still 4 laps on these soft tyres now already. Surely I think good for him is all these laps were behind the safety cars, so surely he'll still have a lot more grip if he would have done those laps under the green flag under racing. Had he done that, there would have been a lot much of a problem. Meanwhile, MB is going to be fighting with the Sauber of Hyper, and MB is going to be through in that McLaren. Up ahead is Special and Sprint. They're going to be fighting each other as well. Around the outside, Sprint might be going for it. No, in fact, Sprint is already ahead, but The other driver, special one, would have been going for it. Meanwhile, Liam and the other Ferrari sticks. Remember, it was a Ferrari 1-2. Liam had a horrible start. Some of the other drivers down the inside line. He's going to send it on the inside line of Alvar and make that overtake done into P6 and gets his position. Meanwhile, Sprint F1 right behind of Alvar as well. Surely the old tyres are now giving up on that Red Bull, but not giving up enough as the Red Bull driver still tries to keep it up there, though. Both of them are going to have that DRS. Meanwhile, in fact, all of them are going to have that DRS down the inside line. Now the Williams is going to be through. Maybe with an opportunity for the Haas driver as well, being on that soft compound tyre. Not enough for him to be making that move earlier on, but he will be enough to be making that move just now. Down the inside line, sends it to make that move and does the job and does it well enough to be performing absolutely amazingly around the outside. Now Alvar's going to try and come back at him. Meanwhile, Hyper's back at him as well. They're going to be side by side. Who's going to be coming better one of these? Who is it going to be, though? Pretty close between these drivers once more. There's going to be drivers side by side. The two teammates at the back. Sauber teammates down the inside lane, really goes ahead of his teammate and overtakes. Meanwhile, Magnet makes a little bit of a mistake that only allows Liam to go into P14, and Liam surely not able to make any progress on this safety car restart then, so surely maybe his temperament's broken, his rhythm's broken in terms of this race. Unable to do the job so far. So it's interesting now as we stand as as Cook and Mamba's going to be switching positions. Cook goes through and gets ahead of Mamba in the other Aston Martin. So the two teammates switching positions. 1.3 seconds to the next car ahead. That is Jamboy, who's now 6/10 behind Joker and Panda. Panda leads to the JP. Meanwhile, there's a yellow flag at the back. Not quite sure what happened out there as Leo now makes another position. Surely he's now getting his tyres up to temperature, getting these tyres warmed up and doing the job he needs to do so far, and absolutely brilliant. As we are here now, back of the field, I mean midfield back, and then giving us some good action. Surely there's some racing at the front as well, but interesting to actually see some racing action at the back out here, because now Joker's going to be there down on the inside line, right behind Panda though. Joker could well be going for a move on that race lead. He needs to go for that. He wants to take the lead of the race. So does Jam Boy, because Jam is after it. He took pole position in the sprint. He took pole position in the Grand Prix qualifying, unable to maintain the race lead for a couple of laps. Down the inside line, he's going to send it on the inside line of Joker before Joker can send it on Panda. He's going to send it on the inside line. There's going to be side by side. Joker just gets the exit better than does Jem in that Ferrari and gets ahead, gets his position back. Snapped back in P3, so just gets out there and in P3 as it stands. Yellow flag once more, yellow flag once more. That is going to be Hyper. We actually saw him here spin around. Not sure if that was the exact same part of the track, but surely he had a couple of spins in qualifying, both the qualifyings I believe, a couple of times, as he has another one out here in front of our screen. So surely unable to keep the car out on track. Another one into the wall. That is just some spins. I mean, needs to be careful on that throttle, because surely when you have already have spun around, overheat the tires, grass on those tires, gravel on those tires, you're going to get no grip. And he stayed out. He has not pitted and stayed out on the track. Not quite sure what has exactly happened out there, but definitely there is a lot more issues. But problems could be the same as we are here down the inside, low on the outside now. MB's going to be overtaken by Riley there, as Riley going to be making that move. That McLaren struggles super there. See tire marks around the outside on the exit of that corner, because that is a pretty difficult corner, because that wall around on the outside is very closer to the track than it looks, and surely it comes at you very fast when you're racing and driving pretty fast. Meanwhile, Joker unable to overtake Panda. Jamboy unable to overtake Joker as it stands. He goes super right onto the grass there, does Jamboy. Meanwhile, Liam overtakes Sprint, but this is going to be interesting though, because one Williams and a Ferrari fighting at the back, the other Alpine and Ferrari fighting at the front, round the outside once more, because I thought that Jam's going to be through on Joker there, around the outside. No, he's going to be losing that position. He goes a little bit wide. Goes absolutely wide, and that then is not looking good at all, as Joker turning in P2, Jamboy losing out even more further positions as Cook gets himself through into P3, as now Hyper has retired after multiple spins around the track, has retired out of this one, and surely not having it easy at all. Lap 21 out of 36, definitely now as we get closer to the end of the Grand Prix. The drivers are going to get even more aggressive. The drivers are surely going to show all the aggressiveness they have, because any patience they would be showing right now is going to be fading away, is going to be turning out to be, as we were just talking about, the aggression as Joker puts it in the wall. Luckily, just enough, by enough margins, only has a minimum front wing damage and comes out of this one without any problem. That is absolute energetic from Joker there. I mean, he put his car straight in. These cars are pretty durable, as now he's going to put it in the wall, and absolutely he's going to put himself in the wall. So will he put Mamba in the wall as well, and once more he goes in the wall, and now that is an absolute not so good driving. He's put it in the wall multiple times. Then he put Mamba. He took Mamba with himself as well. If that's going to be now a third safety car out on track within 22 laps. But here around Zandvoort, I mean, surely it's an old circuit. It's circuit pretty not easy to really nail, but 3 safety cars around here. It's quite a lot. That's all I can say. I mean, with these many safety cars as it stands. Lap 22 out of 36. As it stands down, so Panda in P2, Cook in P1. Cook has taken that lead. Oh, he's overtaken. Jamboy has overtaken Panda on the pit entry. What an overtake. And he's now going to be out ahead of him in that pit exit as well. What an absolute pit entry. That was a fantastic overtake. More like Sebastian Vettel entering that pit lane and taking a position from the other driver. Absolute fantastic job from Jamboy there, and he's put himself into P2 now. A possible chance, potential race lead could be on the way to Jamboy. Cook is on on a nice run out here as well, leading the Grand Prix. And again, everyone's going to be pitting, and Alvaro then has just pitted right now. So let's go into the race director, going on to Alvaro. Where's the Red Bull? Sure, yes, he has. Fantastic job done from Alvaro at this point. You know, going off a set of hard onto the mediums. Job well done to him. Stays in P8, and now he's got all the fresh tires he needs to fight against everybody else. Difference is everybody's got fresh tires as well, but at least now he will not fail at driving on ice. He'll at least have some sort of grip out on track. Lap 23 out of 26 then, so it's lap 24 or lap 25 or lap 26 restart, which we could have. The safety car has definitely stayed out right now, so as soon as we have the safety car in and restart to go, we'll come back and take the action from there on in. Lap 24 out of 26 as the safety car comes in this lap. In fact, it doesn't come in this lap, so that is then going to be lap 26 restart. So that surely means that 10 laps to the end. Which is probably going to be the case, 10 laps to the end in this one then. So the drivers so far, Cook leads ahead of Jamboy, ahead of Panda, ahead of Liam. Then comes Sprint in the top 5. And only then comes Special One, doing an absolute good job so far. Had a fantastic race. Fantastic sprint as well, absolutely great position for him in P6. With Ben in P7, followed by Alvaro, Leo and Mamba completing the top 10. Only outside are Riley, Mbe and the Love Mac. The drivers who lost out in this session are in this race are Joker, Hyper and MP Gamers. MP Gamers with an incident earlier on lap 1, I believe. Hyper then a couple of spins on his own or with the crash or with a contact with one of the other drivers earlier on. Not quite sure what exactly happened. He retired as well, and then Joker put it in the wall. Once he was lucky enough to be really still staying in the race, he then again put it in the wall multiple times, and that was then it for him to be really out of this Grand Prix. and we are here. The safety car is in this lap, and we are ready to go racing here at the Dutch Grand Prix. It's going to be a Cook in that race lead. Jamboy right behind with Panda in P3, Liam in P4, followed by Sprinter in P5. At the back there's going to be a good chance for Ben to get through on Special One. Can he get through though? Down the inside, he's going to get back to that inside line to defend, and does it beautifully so far at least. Keeps it to himself. Meanwhile, drivers at the back, are we going to be seeing any overtakes done? No, as it stands, not yet. Meanwhile, at the front there could be an overtake for the Ferrari driver. Jamboy is going to be through all around the outside of the Aston Martin. Now on the inside line is going to be Panda of that Aston Martin. Is going to send it on the inside as well, and now Jamboy's back into that race lead. Panda's going to be up to it's going to be Charlie wanting to get that lead to himself, and that lead is going to be up for grabs as it stands. Lap 36, lap 26 out of 36. Jamboy in P1 with Panda in P2, Cook in P3 with Liam in P4, followed by down the inside line for a moment. Special One, we just thought he was going to do another special move and get himself into P5 for a moment, but now he's going to be in a bit of a pressure, and down the inside line Ben's going to send it on the inside line and make that move, but Special's still going to be there side by side. He's not going to have that DRS though. In fact, nobody's going to have that DRS. Of course, safety car just went in, so no safe DRS for at least this specific lap, and the next one should be enabled. Oh, there's going to be a big crash. That is going to be an absolute big crash, and that is absolute shocking. How has he survived? How has he survived an absolute mega crash? I think Special was surely having the race of the season for himself, and absolutely going side by side has been put in the wall, and I doubt if he wants to continue anymore, because surely that was an rapid connection with the wall, and still how durable these modern F1 cars are, they managed to survive. So did Joker earlier on survived as well. Then I don't know if he was out on track or in the pit lane or by himself, and I think Special might now be getting to the pits and straight into it, because retiring on this one, because not a lot now remains. And meanwhile, Jamboy MP is still leading ahead of the Panda not far behind as well. Mood Pandas. Panda, of course, I mean, I don't know which Panda this is. I had a couple of Pandas to commentate on, but I don't know if this is same not Panda or this is a different one. I don't know, but I'm in P2 as Panda at the moment, just trying to follow Jam and trying to overtake him, trying to get ahead of him as it stands. For the moment, so really trying to do the job as he can, trying to do the performance as he can. Meanwhile, there's a yellow flag at the back. Jam has lost out the position to Panda as it stands. Cook is going to be there as well. Cook's going to be trying to get that attack on Jamboy out there. Surely these two are going to be fighting back and forth here and there throughout these remaining laps, because now a lot of laps remain, and surely it won't be too long. And round the outside now, he doesn't even need to be late on the brakes there. They're still going to be side by side though, but does get that overtake done, does Jam, and beautifully back into that race lead. Takes that over, makes that move, takes that place, and job well done. Panda now in a bit of pressure from Cook there, though surely Panda's putting that pressure on Jam as well, but Panda himself is going to be in a bit of pressure from Cook there. Cook, remember guys, podium in Monaco, I believe, and after that he's got another opportunity to do it here around today. Meanwhile, the other Ferrari of Liam is out there as well. Surely Ferrari drivers would be wanting to finish where they started. A Ferrari 1-2 is going to be on their way. A Ferrari 1-2 is going to be on the chance. Meanwhile, Jam has lost out that race lead once more around the outside. Ooh, that was a bit of a close job between the two. Down the inside line for a moment, you would have thought he's going to be through, but no, in fact, he's not going to be through. But again, now Jamboy's going to get another opportunity with that DRS and Raving opening once more. Similar lap, similar chance. Down the inside line, he's going to push him all the way he can. Almost put him in the wall there, but just enough. Panda Jam will be doing and through into the lead of the race back again. Meanwhile, drivers at the back are switching positions as well. Mamba and Alvar. One Red Bull and Aston Martin at the front. The other Red Bull and Aston Martin in the final points positions are at the bottom. Specialized continue on this one in that lead or in that soft compound tire. I think. Surely, I think Special. Of course, they're our drivers. I don't know him from a long time ago. So if he's, you know, if he's a pretty good driver and hasn't been able to get the hold of this game, is a different thing. But just haven't been, you know, able to. Now once more, still not decided. Leo's making an absolute progress here. The man was at the back of the grid after that safety car restart, and now into P5. He's making absolute use of those medium compound tires. Then, all right, so he actually might have not pitted in that around that second safety car then, because he's on 12 up old mediums as compared to everybody around on 8 laps. So surely might have not pitted on previous laps as it stands. So lap 31 out of 36. We're still far from the end of it as Liams went for it and down the inside line. He's done an absolute blinder there, because he's now not only made his teammate lost out that lead. He's got himself P3, but then he's made his teammate Jamboy go away from it, lose out that lead, and now Panda's into that race lead as well. Down the inside, he's going to send it, but no, Panda's going to go defensive enough, and does the job good enough for him to defend really side by side. This is going to be Wilson Will Racing, who's going to be late on the brakes though. They did make contact out there. Ooh, that was close. That was absolutely close between the two. Around the outside, there's going to be a chance coming up from one of the drivers out there. Who's going to be down the inside or outside? Out there, down the inside line. Jamboy's going to send it on the inside once more. He's going to be trying all his best to get that race lead back, but definitely what's supposed to be his was a dive bomb from his teammate. Brought it down, absolutely down at the moment. Jamboy now still struggling to keep it together. Meanwhile, Liam has lost out the positions into P6 now already. Is Liam out there? Lap 32 out of 36. So far, Panda now still keeps on to the lead of the Grand Prix. Lap 33 out of 36. This could still be anybody's game. This could still be anyone's game. Panda, the Jam is not going to be leaving him at all on the inside line for a moment. We could have scored as at all. So down the outside once more. Another chance for Jam is going to be there. Can he quite do it though? Can he quite get it out there? Round the outside once more. On lap 32 out of 36, still out there. Surely these two, and there's going to be battle at the back as well, but this is the important one. This is the most important and most anticipated in this race so far. Of course, the race win, the race lead. Who has it? Around coming around the final corner into the final lap. Previous lap, Jam tried to go for it once more, but Panda defended it very beautifully and kept it to himself and done an absolute amazing job. Can he quite do it now? He's going to go super wide. Jam Boy's going to go wide and he's going to go absolute into the grass. And now an absolute chance for a victory that could have been his. That was, in fact, remember, he was in the lead. His teammate dive bombed him, and then that allowed Panda and Cook to get through. And now as it stands, Panda and Cook are 1-2 with Jamboy and Liam in P5 and 6. Absolute disastrous for both the Ferrari drivers, and now Cook is going to be in a lot less pressure, and Leo, the man that won that sprint after a absolute disastrous start in this race, is currently in P3. Okay, so it definitely wouldn't have been a Ferrari 1-2, so Leo's lost that one position. That means he started P2. And Liam might have started on pole position with Jamboy and P. He might have started P2 then, but I'm not quite sure how this one works out, the amount of positions they've lost out, but that is absolutely brilliantly, as now Jamboy is going to be trying to make that move, and he puts Ben into the wall straight away. Trying to make a move on the inside line. Ben's going to get ahead and make that position back on Jamboy, but absolute job well done so far. Lap 35 out of 36. We're just about to get to the end of the Grand Prix and get the job done so far. But it's not done yet, of course. Only a tenth and a half separating these two. Surely one on a set of mediums, on a set of hard tyres. But of course, that is not going to be matter. That's not going to matter a lot when it comes to this one so far. So this is interesting as it stands. We are looking at this one. Cook into turn one, heading towards the left-hander banking. Is he going to go round the outside? A possible chance for him to take that race lead. A potential race lead move is now going to be taken and denied from Panda, at least for the moment. He surely is giving it everything. He's driving at absolute best to keep his lead, to take this victory. Fantastic recovery from Leo in this race, but absolute job well done from Panda as well. He might have not had the speed in qualifying, but he has surely controlled the race throughout, and that has allowed him to get through, and that is going to be a good job done. Jamboy gets through, but looking at this one at the moment at the front is going to be our job. Panda still leads ahead of Cook, ahead of Leo. And these guys are doing a phenomenal job as it stands. It is going to be now. Panda just got his few corners to go. Cook is not far behind as well. We might just be seeing a photo finish to the line. How good is that going to be? How good is this really going to be? Because Panda's coming over the line. It's going to be a chance for Cook. They're over the line. They're going to go side by side. A photo finish to the line for the Dutch Grand Prix. And that is an absolute dramatic finish to the end. Panda wins the Dutch Grand Prix. Cook in P2 with Leo in P3. Liam ends up in P5 with Ben in P4. Ben in P5 with Riley in P6, followed by Mamba in P7. Sprint in P8. Jamboy starting on pole in P9 with Alwar in P10, followed by Magnet out just after the points, whereas Magnet, MB and Special One. Just out of this race was Joker, Hyper and MP Gamers out. They're an absolute fantastic finish. No, okay, one driver actually yet to finish this race, but fantastic job. I think job well done to these guys. The job, and fantastically done from these guys. Beautiful, great racing from all of them as well. Surely I think sprint towards the end maybe here and there, a little bit of pushing out there, but I think it was more like, you know, drivers going onto the grass, drivers going into the walls, more like their own mistake, because this reverse track is pretty hard one to get, but absolute job well done from these guys, and fantastically done from all of them as it stands. So these are your results then. Panda in P1 wins the Dutch GP with Leo in P2, followed by Cook in P3, a podium for him. Liam just outside in P4 with Mamba in P5, followed by Ben in P6, then comes Riley in P7. Okay, this is actually not the race results, these are the overall results. In terms of the race results, are top 3 is the same. Liam in P4, Ben in P5 with Riley in P6, followed by Mamba in P7, Sprint in P8, then Jamboy in P9 with Alvar in completing out the top 10 in P10, with Mechanik in P11 with P12, then comes Special in P13 after a mistake. He did a relatively good race overall, he had a fantastic weekend. Then Joker, Hyper and MP Gamers are out of the Grand Prix, and that is going to be getting to the end of this one. And hope you all watching really enjoyed it, the action from out here for the Dutch GP, and from all of us